Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Nerds on Culture with Stormybman for this Monday, December 15th, 2025. This is number 146 in the series of Nerd shows. And what we're talking about this evening is for the gamer in you. Yeah, we're talking about favorite video game consoles. This could be a series of shows, so we'll say part one. But we're talking about video game consoles because that is a great American culture pastime, as well as internationally, because now that we have the internet, people can go online and compete with video game fare and make acquaintances as well as enemies around the world for your favorite video game fare. So we're gonna have an introductory show tonight talking about that, and I'm here with my partner in crime. We got the brother Drew Titan in the building with us tonight to talk about this, and he's going to pretty much take the lead on it because he's the gamer between the two of us, and he knows a great deal about what has transpired out there and been accessible to us as an audience. So with no further ado, let me introduce the brother Drew Titan in the building. What's going on, man? How you feel?
We blessed, man. We blessed, man. This is gonna be a fun topic right here, man. Because, you know, I'm a gamer. I'm still a gamer when I have time, and this was a part of my childhood growing up. I did have the childhood where I played with toys and everything else, but the video games was it. You know, we had a conversation about arcade video games, and the big deal was when the home systems came about. We knew we was gonna get the quality graphics that we got in the arcade, but you know what? It was close enough. It was close enough. And I cherish that. Video games have been instrumental in my upbringing. They're very instrumental, man. And lo and behold, in college, you know, kids, that's actually a course in gaming. You can get scholarships for gaming in college right now. Ain't that something?
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, my nephew is in this group, and I'm not sure what games they play because I'm not into that stuff. But he's getting credited for that. When he should be home in a couple of days. I need to know what's going on. I'm like, wow, you're doing what, kid? I couldn't believe it. I said, man, this wasn't around when I was in college. Jeez. But, you know, live and learn, man. So that's going to be an exciting conversation to have. And, of course, there's a game he wants for Christmas. So when he gets home, I'm going to grab that for him. But, yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool, though, because I can remember a time when something like that was not even of consideration, you know. So for young folks to be able to enjoy that, that's awesome, bro. That's totally awesome.
Yeah, it's I wish that was around when I was like a lot younger. You know what I mean? I was like, man, but you know what they did was, because look, the video games, as they've gotten better over the years, what they did was, like, you know, like what's done here. You know, you have a good conversation and people like hearing what you got to say. You monetize it. Mm-hmm. And what they've done, all they said was, hey, man, you know, these kids are really good at these games. You know, make it a course, but make it educational. You know,
yeah.
And, that's what he's doing. It's not his major, of course, but he also they do you know, graphics and computer programming, and I think him and his friends are actually in the process of making their own video game. And that's what my dad was always doing. He hated video games because he's like, you could be reading a book. You know, he's old school. You know, so he would say, man, you guys play so much. You guys should know how to learn how to make these things, because as you're playing it and you're wasting your time, there's a little Japanese guy laughing at you from the other side of the screen. My father's so animated, it's so funny. But you know, in theory, he was right. And that's what they've done in in society now. You know what I mean? And I like it. I like it, man. I really do like it. So, you know, I'm past my prime with that. I'm just watching the outcome. So as we're talking, I'm just loading up all these pictures. Because I was around for all of this stuff. And we'll start right here. So what we'll do is I'm going to take you guys on a journey. Because I'm old, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you are my age. Most of you are not. All these video games that y'all see today, there's some amazing stuff, man. Amazing stuff. But if you look at what we had to play with growing up, it's gonna hurt your eyes. In fact, it's so bad that these consoles can't even connect to the new TVs. Now that I think about it, matter of fact, I want you to pull up the first one on the left. That's the Intellivision. Now, I didn't have this. My buddy had this. This was called Intellivision.
Hold on a second. Let me take this other image down. Mm-hmm. One second.
Mm-hmm. Derek Gaines had an Intellivision. Yeah, that's what's up, man. And you know, you gotta wanna, like, damn, you know what? We need to do a top 10 greatest video games of all time. That's a conversation to have. Because there are games that actually shaped video games, like in home consoles. Yeah, Steve L, we old, brother. There it is. Damn, that's a really good picture that I took. Jeez. That's dope. Okay. So that's the Intellivision. It looks like a damn cord phone right there. You put the video game. You put the video game cartridge on the right-hand side over there. The games that we played, my boy had this. The games that you played went into the slot on the right-hand side over there. And one of the games he had on here was a simple game called Asteroids. Do you remember seeing that anywhere, Stormy?
Yeah, I remember Asteroids.
Asteroids. And it was so basic in the arcade. And the music was just doom, 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 doom. And you have to shoot the asteroids. The bigger the asteroid, it broke into pieces. And sometimes the pieces will blow your ship up.
Right.
And I'll never forget it, man. In the arcade, you gotta understand, guys, this was the 80s. And you know, the brothers dressed a certain way. We was wearing you know, Run DMC Adidas track suits and shell top Adidas. And the white cats around my way, they listened to, you know, heavy metal. They listened to you know, Metallica. But we were all cool. We were all cool. And there was this dude that rocked Adidas, and he kind of looked like LL Cool J. Never knew his name. He was like, you know, he was a little older than my brother, and he was so good at Asteroids. And his boy had like really big blonde hair, and he wore like silver belts. He wore like 4 silver belts, and they were the Asteroid masters. And both of them, because Asteroid in the arcade was 2-player. Well, I think it was 1 player at first, and then the other machine came out, it was 2. It looked like cursors. You know, they look like the arrow on your computer. They look like that. And
you know something else about that too?
Yep.
When you were really good, people like worshipped you. Remember? It was like you were a star.
They got all the girls playing that game.
Yeah, right.
They got all the girls. The girls would be saying, "Oh my God, you're so good." It was crazy. You know, I'm a little dude. I'm just watching. Look at Steve Elder Mac. Steve Elder Mac think that Storm. He think me and you walked around in the 80s dressed like Philip Bailey with headbands. The reasons that we live. The reasons. Nah, but you know what, Steve L? Some brothers did. I ain't even gonna hold you. Gotta remember, it was the 80s. Yo, there was dudes walking around the street with 1 white glove on because Michael Jackson, bro. Dead serious. I'm not even kidding. Dead serious. So that's funny as hell. Jesus Christ. Stormy, did we do a we did a show on attire. We did, right?
Yep.
Oh, we gotta do it again. So yeah, these dudes would rock Asteroids, and there was something called turning the game over, meaning you push the points up until the points have to reset.
Right.
And that's how you beat the game. There was no end to it. You just rock the game. That's what we used to call it. You rock the game until the points turn back to 0. And he was I don't know these guys' name, but it was this rocker looking white dude. And he looked like matter of fact, I think he did play the guitar. I think he did. He used to have his guitar on the side of the damn game. And this dude that looked like LL Cool J. And when these game consoles came home, one of the first games was Asteroids. And it was a very simple game with very simple music. So it was arcade accurate. Doom, doom. The only thing, Stormy, there was no color. The Intellivision games, if I'm not mistaken, could be wrong, I think they were in black and white. And I don't remember the library of video games they had. They had more than 10, but I remember Asteroids because when I went to my boy's house, we'd be up all night on a snowy day during winter recess playing this all night. And in television, he had it in television, and this was fun. Now, the system that came out after this, I didn't have it in television. I want you to go to the one right next to it. Steve L, don't look at any of these video games because it'll hurt your eyes. This was the Atari 2600. This is what I had. Now, watch this, y'all. To the youngsters, you know what sucked about all of these games? Until we got to Atari 7800. You know what sucked about all of these games? There was no pause button. The worst thing in the world, and listen to me very carefully, the worst thing in the world is you're playing this game and you're doing really good, and then mama call you. You can't tell her no, especially if you left like a dish in the sink. Oh no, it's over. I don't care how good you're doing, you're gonna die.
And she was gonna call you because that's what they did.
Yeah. She know you like, yeah, I don't like that game. Watch what I do to you. And don't you be a second too late. Because when you hear her coming, you heard my mom coming down that hall. You hear the flip flops hitting the wood floor. They go, oh, you about to get your ass kicked. So there was no pause on these games. Now the games that I did have for the Atari 2600 was Donkey Kong, and listen, y'all can look this up on YouTube. It looked horrible. Donkey Kong. I had Pac-Man. I think I had Dig Dug, and Asteroids came out for this, but this console, the games was in color. That's why this was better than the Intellivision.
And Drew, as Derek Gaines says, you had to turn the TV to channel 3, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yo. Oh, thank you, Derek. Yes. You had to turn to channel 3. He's right. Oh, my God. Yo, check it out. This is why I say these consoles won't even work unless you get like an adapter. What was that piece that you had to screw in, the metal piece that you had to screw into the back of your TV? And then you had to put the cable into that. You had to screw it back. It looked like a battery. But
I remember what you're talking about. I can't remember what it was called though.
Right.
But that was like a connecting piece.
It was a connector, and it was 2 screws in the back of your TV. You connected it. It was 2 pieces. You screwed it in, nice and tight, right? And then you screwed
like
it
a UHF adapter or something.
RHF. RHF.
There we go. There we go.
Yep, thank you, Derek. It was the RHF. And man, oh man. Oh my God, man. Those are the days. Man, the worst thing in the world is you playing the game and you ain't screwing in hard enough and that thing fall out. Oh, it's the end of the world. I'll be mad for weeks. Man. So I remember playing Pac-Man, the Donkey Kong, and the graphics was horrible, but this is what you had. This is what you had, and Derek is right. You had to turn it to channel 3, right? But Atari had a lot of games, man, a lot of games. And I remember my brother and his boy that lived downstairs, and he had another boy that lived upstairs. And again, on winter recess, all we did was eat a bunch of food that we wasn't supposed to be eating and play every one of these games. And E.T. for this game system was crazy. E.T. from the movies. Derek says you had to screw it in a circle into yes, you had to screw it. Man, y'all don't know, man. These games was an event trying to hook this damn thing up. It was an event, and not every household had 2 TVs. Y'all don't know, bro. Y'all take advantage, man. Y'all don't know. Not every household had 2 TVs, man. I had to wait till my parents was done watching whatever. And if it wasn't bedtime, me and my brother run to the living room and hook up the Atari. And then they have the nerve, all right, man, you got 1 hour and take your ass to bed. I'm like, damn. Sitting here watching the Rockford Files all damn night. Can't get one game in. And then MASH come on. Yeah, it's bedtime once MASH comes on.
Dude, I hated that. To this day, I know that theme song by heart.
It means bedtime, bro. You hated that? Oh my God, man. You watching, you having a good night. Dun, 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 dun. They were like, all right, then all the adults turn to look at you like, all right, you got, like, damn, man. What time was it anyway? Like 9 o'clock? Damn. Oh,
and everybody watched MASH a little bit because Loretta Swit had big breasts.
Yeah. You know, since I was younger, I was like, yo, what's with homie dressed like a chick?
I know, right, dude?
Yeah, I found out later the thing with him was he was trying to get thrown out of the Army.
Yeah, he was trying to get a dishonorable discharge.
Right. That was crazy. Come to find, well, that wouldn't work now.
It sure wouldn't. If anything, they make him a high-ranking officer.
High ranking. Oh man, that's funny as hell. Oh my gosh. Steve L said MASH should come on after WWF in the 90s. Nah, bro, we talking about the early 80s / 70s, early 80s. Once MASH came on, that means it was bedtime. Hated that. Those damn helicopters. Oh, damn it. All right, so the next one, go to the next one. Yeah, Atari 5200. Now, this was the upgrade, right? Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to come back to this one. There's a reason why. Go to where it says ColecoVision. The first one. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this was grade A graphics for a home console. This was blasting the Atari. This is the first video game console beef that I witnessed. This was it right here. Now, this was a little closer to arcade, a little more colorful. The sound was better. It was more compact, right? And their version of Donkey Kong was arcade accurate. Their version of Donkey Kong was arcade accurate. And that Christmas of 1980, I want to say 84, 83, 84. I forget, but this was lit. I have a picture, Stormy. When I get a hold of it, I'm gonna send it to you. We had Christmas at my parents' crib, and all of us, me, my brother, my cousins, we were all in the room, and all we did was play this game. Wow. We played Donkey Kong because it was amazing. It's like, yo, this looks just like the arcade, but we ain't paying no quarters. And we all played this game. It was Donkey Kong, Mr. Do, Dig Dug, and that was this Donkey Kong, by the way, that was our introduction to Mario, the character, Mario.
Yeah.
And man, we were gamed out. And this right here was very, very important because this was state of the art. Now I'm gonna show you, you have to read up on it, but this company did something very sneaky, and I think that they pulled a move that got them this system thrown out of business. Now, I want you to go over to the next ColecoVision slide. You see this right there? It's ColecoVision, but you see that extra piece in the front, that adapter? Mm-hmm. You know what that did? That gave you the technology to play Atari 2600 video games.
Wow.
Now that was the best thing in the world for us. But on a business level, can you imagine? It's like why buy?
Still in their business.
It's still in their business. Now, yeah, I ain't think nothing of it. But as I got older, I was talking to my brother years later. I said, you remember that adapter that Carl had, his friend Carl lived downstairs. He said, yeah, you was able to play the Atari games. So it's like buy a Coleco and just spend a fraction of the price to get this adapter. You can play all your Atari games. You ain't got to throw out your Atari, but play it on our system. And we was like, man, that had to have been the reason why, because what happened was Coleco just stopped making games. There was no ColecoVision.
I remember they were around and they were solid for a minute. See, I didn't have those game consoles. I don't even remember why not, but I guess I was never really into the arcades and stuff like that. You know, I go through sometimes, but I don't know. But when it became available at home, I think it was because the competitive market. You know, we had Atari out there, then ColecoVision came along, and it was like, which one do you get? You know, that kind of thing. And just when you think you got one that's solid, the other one would come out with something else. So, modified version. And this one right here, I remember that one coming out, but I didn't really think about that was why they would end up disappearing, because they probably had a huge lawsuit or something.
Oh man, that's what later on when I did some research, I think they talk about it on YouTube. There's some people that speak on it, but usually game consoles, they advance every 2 or 3 years, and Coleco vanished. This was the only console they made. Now, for those of you that don't know, Coleco was a toy company. They also made the Cabbage Patch Kids. A lot of people didn't know that. And if y'all don't know anything, if y'all don't remember anything about those damn Cabbage Patch Kids, let me tell you something, man. People were getting injured over those damn dolls. Adrian Vent says, I heard Atari sued Coleco because they released an add-on. Yep, there you go. Where you can play Atari 2600 games. That's like PlayStation. See? Yep. That's it. That's what you're looking at. That's it. That's like if PlayStation released an add-on, you can play Xbox games. Yep.
That's the equivalent of like right now, you got a Fire Stick and say you got Netflix, but then you do that jailbreak on there and you can play the Netflix on other stuff and don't have to pay for Netflix subscription.
Right.
And then it's like, hold on a minute.
Yeah, man. That's
the lawsuit. That's the equivalent.
That lawsuit must have been crazy. My God. But Coleco was on fire, but then they did this. And I don't know how someone in the offices couldn't have, I know it's video games, but Jesus Christ, you couldn't do this with a car. If a car had an exclusive part, and they say, well, you could take this part off a Lexus and put it on a Nissan, they'd be like, nah, man, you can't do that. Yeah, so I didn't have this adapter. My brother's boy had it, and he had a bunch of Atari games, but he had an Atari. We all had Ataris. And then we got the Coleco, and he got a Coleco. He bought that add-on. He said, yeah, man, so, in the event my damn Atari breaks, I got this add-on. I'm like, oh, crap. But that made sense, though. But I think this is what put the game council out of business.
But see, that's the thing. Think about it like this, guys. You could have had the best of both worlds. And they made that little thing right there and messed it up for everybody. But if you were a person that had the Atari games first and then came out with that, can you imagine what that's like? Basically, even, I talked about Netflix a moment ago. It's like if you got the PS, gaming system, and you could play Xbox on the PS. That's you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, man, I never knew, because for a child, this is like heaven. Oh my God, we could play everything. But as a business standpoint, you trying to win. You know what I'm saying? You trying to win. And I think a ColecoVision, they committed suicide doing that crap. You know what I'm saying? They committed suicide. And that was that. That was that. And I was annoyed, but it's like, I don't know what's the last game they made. But he said that's why Sony tried suing Apple, because they had an emulator where you could play PS1 games on the Apple. Wow, yeah, you see? You can't do that. Can't do that.
Man, the guys that be designing these games and stuff be sitting up in the labs like, hey Tom, look what I'm able to do. Hey, go
exactly.
You know, and they sitting up in the offices,
sitting up in there scheming.
Oh,
scheming
man,
and plotting, man. I mean, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself. This is a business, man. This is a business, man.
And you know what's like that too? All
that?
These damn antivirus bullshit that you have to buy for your computers. It's the same.
You ain't lying, bro.
It's the same shit, bro.
Yup. The newer computers, they come with their with their antivirus, but it's still a freaking racket, man. Like, I went to go fix my mother's computer. I went to go fix it like about a couple of months ago, and she had all this Norton antivirus. She had like 2 antiviruses on there. I said, "What are you doing? That's why your computer's so slow." And I had to take all of her stuff, and I had to defragment, and then the defragment wasn't working, so I just factory reset it and put 1 antivirus on it. And I said, "Look, you don't need nothing else, man. But this thing is a damn racket, man. The whole thing is a racket." But anyway, so that killed the Coleco. So whatever games we had, that's what we had. And it was a good system for the 80s, man. A really good system. So what you can do now is go to the Atari 5200 on the far left. Now this, I forget what year this came out, but this was state of the art, because look how many ports you have there for your controllers. So there was a bunch of games that you can actually play with 4 players. And this was the first game console. And this is where the part where I say, Stormy, I wish we could play the commercials when they advertise this. Because in that commercial, the kid is playing, and the mother, you hear her say, "Tommy," and it said, "The game even has pause." And right up the upper right hand, on the game control, right there in the middle, in yellow, that's the pause button. That's the pause button. See, I'm telling y'all youngsters, man. I played games where there was no pause. You just had to thug it out. There was no passwords. If you cut the game off, you had to start all over. So you was in it. Once you turn it on, do not play those games if you had chores to do. Do your chores first. So this was the first
I'm
game.
looking at the joystick there. I blew my screen up and I can see it's in yellow.
Yeah, right there in the middle. It said pause.
The joystick there. Pause.
Yeah. And that was
in other words, that's when pause really meant pause, right?
Pause really meant pause back then. And hey, bro, that was state of the art. We all went to schools like, did you see the Atari 5200? Got a pause button. I remember I was playing, my brother was doing laundry. We did laundry every Sunday, right? My brother's doing laundry, right? And he was playing a game called Joust. That game was fun as hell, man. That game was fun as hell. It's a knight who's riding. Now check this out, Stormy. It's a knight who's riding an ostrich. And the ostrich flies. And the enemies are other knights on ostriches. And they're trying to knock you off your ostrich. And every now and again, a pterodactyl will fly on the board. You got to kill the pterodactyl. You got to like hit him perfectly. And it was 2 players. It was 2 players. And you would hit the enemy off their bird, and an egg will fly out. And if you don't grab the egg, another knight will hatch out of the egg, and the ostrich will pick up that knight and try and get you.
Come after you again, yeah.
Right. And the bridge on the bottom would disappear. If you get too close to the lava, a hand will come up and try and snatch you down to the lava. It was a very creative game. It was in the arcade. And then when this came out, the graphics were a little better. By then, it was like 3 years later. And Joust was one of the games. Pac-Man, Joust, and a couple of other games. But I played Joust every day. Played it every day. And pause. This was the first home console. If y'all know different, let me know. But this was the first home console that implemented a pause button. That's the Atari 5200. Love this game system. It was very sleek. It was kind of big. It was the same size of our VCR. It was kind of big. It's kind of big, but we only had 2 controllers. Again, my brother's friends, they had the other 2. They used to play this game, and it was 4 players. I forgot what it was, man, but this console was very, very fun. Okay, you can go to the Atari 7800 right there. Now, the Atari 7800. This was a step up. And if you see the buttons on the side, there was a lot of racing. You see what Young DZ said, pole position? There was a lot of racing games on this. And I didn't have this. We skipped this. We skipped this. There was a good 2-year stretch we didn't have a gaming console because we played everything. You know what I mean?
How often did the new consoles come out? Because I remember them, and that, like I said, it was happening so fast that I couldn't even keep up with the whole thing. So I just kind of like left it alone.
Yeah, I think back then, and I have to look this up, I think a new console would reveal itself every 2 years.
Yeah.
I think there was a 2-year gap in between these Ataris. And when Coleco went out of business, you had a Commodore 64, but the Commodore 64 was more of a computer. It was more of like a computer, and you did like we didn't know what the hell a spreadsheet was, but we had a Commodore 64, and we didn't have no like games for it, but we started typing like documents on it, and we got a loud ass printer. It was more of a home computer. The Atari was a gaming console. He said every year. He might be right. And I do remember this. I see Will St. Clair, salute. Pitfall was a major player on this game right here. Pitfall was major. Pitfall was major. Now, we didn't have this. I knew someone who had this. But Pitfall, do y'all remember Elevator Action? Yes, Missile Command, Centipede, all of those games. And all of those games in the arcade were re-released on the home consoles, and they were still arcades when this came out, but they were all arcade accurate. By the time
I remember the Centipede game, man.
Yeah.
Centipede was fun, you know.
It was
really fun.
Centipede, Ninja Golf, I don't recall that. Ninja Golf, no, I don't recall that. But Pitfall, for Coleco, Rocky 3. No, Rocky came out for Coleco. And you know why I said Rocky 3? Because Rocky 4 didn't come out yet. Coleco, you had Rocky and you fought Apollo and Clubber Lang. That's it. Rocky 4 didn't come out yet. Rocky 4 came out when I was in junior high school. Damn. But Rocky for the Coleco was pretty damn good. Wait till we do boxing games, man. I'm going to take y'all on a magical journey. Y'all better go follow us on, always follow us on Patreon, but follow us on Rumble, because I got to show y'all clips of these boxing games. Got to do it. So that's the 7800. Elevator Action, Pitfall. Fun stuff, man. Fun stuff. Now, We're gonna go on to junior high school, where things got things got real good for me. Go to the NES right next to it. Now, come on now. The Nintendo Entertainment System, aka the Famicom in Japan. This right here, this, I ain't even gonna hold you. This distracted the hell out of me. I was doing bad in school. My mother had to disconnect it, and Stormy, let me tell you the story, man. I was effing up so bad in school, bro. I came home and I heard you ever had your mom so pissed at you and you get to the door of the crib and you hear her beefing? Well, I was that, not my brother, not my sister, me. And I didn't even want to go in the house because I knew what it was. I was supposed to do something in school. I just didn't do it. You know why? I was on this damn Nintendo. And when I walked in the door, my brother, all I saw was my Nintendo in the middle of the living room floor. And my mom had a broomstick. She told my brother, "Put it there, I'm gonna smash this mother F." I was like, no! I'm gonna tell you the games that I was distracted by on this system. There was a game called Pro Wrestling. That's one of the most, you wanna talk about nostalgia? Stormy, you ask anybody what's your favorite wrestling game, and they're like our age, they're gonna say Pro Wrestling for the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. All right, this was great. That was great. Another game they're gonna say is there was a game called Metroid. Loved that game. Nintendo also started not remastering, but arcade. Now, we still wasn't arcade quality because the systems got better at home, but the arcade technology also got better. There was a game called Contra.
Bro, listen, I still have this.
You do?
I still have it. It's about 3 feet from me now.
See?
On my I got a little monitor down here where I do my show and stuff, but it's wrapped up and everything. But I still have it, man.
Hey, man. Contra, Gradius, the sequel, Life Force, Kid Icarus, and
dude, I played the hell out of Contra. Contra was like,
bro, me and my boy played that every weekend, bro. We were so nice with that. There's a band on YouTube. It's like got to be about 15 years old now. The group is called the Mini Bosses, and all they do is play video game music, but they play with their instruments. And they played the Contra theme, and the crowd went crazy because we all knew what it was. On the guitar, they're playing the Contra theme. We was like, oh, man, that was, the 30-man trick. The 30-man trick worked on Contra, and it also worked on Life Force because it was 2-player by the same company. And you know what really made me, made my grades poor? Me being distracted. One of my favorite games that none of my boys could beat me in. Just take a wild guess what it was. Just take a wild guess. Just guess what sport it was. Yeah, it was boxing. It was a game called Ring King. Now, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out came to the home console system, but it was really Punch-Out from the arcade. But by the time it came to the Nintendo Entertainment System, it was they just threw Mike Tyson in it. I liked that game. I liked it. But Ring King was more strategic. Salute, Steve L. Salute, brother. Ring King was more strategic. I see you, Clarence. Ring King was very strategic, and none of my friends could beat me. Man, Stormy, to this day, I think Ring King is the most disrespectful boxing game ever. Have you ever seen that game?
I think I have. I just don't remember it by its title.
Everybody had afros in that game. It's a boxing game.
Now, I had the Holyfield game when Holyfield was the undisputed champ.
That was for Genesis. That's coming up. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
I had that. Man, Ring
They
King
had the voices of the fighters on there talking shit. Like, you had Rocky Marciano on there. He was like, "You're going down." You know, it's like,
oh man, that was Wait a minute. Oh, that was on the PlayStation. We gonna get, man. Wait till we do that boxing video game show, bro. Because there was a game called what was it called? Legends of the Ring, and James Toney was in it.
Yep, they had one. And most of the champs had a video game. Like when George Foreman became heavyweight champion of the world, he had a game. I think it was called Foreman for Real.
Yeah,
Then Buster Douglas had one.
Yeah, that was for the Genesis. I had that. The original game. It was Buster Douglas something, but the original game was called shit, I forgot. But he needed a video game, so they put him in that game and brought it home. I had it. And once again, none of my boys could beat me in any boxing game that I ever had. I bust all their asses. Ring King, everybody had a half row, and I didn't like in between rounds because in the chat, if y'all know, it looked wrong. In matter of fact, y'all can see that on YouTube, man. It looked, from the time I was a shorty, I said, that looks awful.
Man, it looked like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
No, you know what I'm talking about, man. It looked wrong. I was like, why would they? Miguel was early in his life doing that. The hell was that? It was crazy. Yeah, Deezy, you know what I'm talking about. That was the original pause. I did not like that. And you had to like mash the buttons to get your energy back. I'm like, this looks wrong. It looked bad. But anyway, it was so disrespectful because when you hit him with a super punch, they would either spin out like a tornado and fall, or if they're near the ropes and you uppercut them, they would fly out the ring, up and off the screen, out the arena.
I don't remember which game system this was, but we had gone out to a store and it was set up as a demo on a television. And I remember it looking at that time so real. This was like in the late 80s, I want to say. It wasn't the 90s yet, but it was the late 80s. And it was Ali on the game, and he was fighting somebody. I don't know if it was Joe Frazier or whatever, but I was very impressed with the graphics because it looked almost three-dimensional, and he was punching. I don't know what game that was, but at the time, I know it was kind of expensive, and I looked at it. I was like, "Man, that looked pretty good." I don't remember what this was.
It may have been Foes of Ali. It may have been that, but he was in a bunch of video games. I know in all of the not Fight Night, but the Knockout Kings.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the box for all of them. For the Knockout Kings, they reenacted him beating Sonny Liston. And it might have been that. It might have been
one of the games that I used to play. I don't even remember what game this was. Ali, he used to do, like, he could throw the rapid jab, like jab, 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 in the straight right hand, right behind it. And it was like, if you caught the guy's perfectly, it'd be like a knockout or a knockdown. When he did that, I was like,
Right.
man, that was pretty cool. I love that.
Ali in any of these boxing games is a damn cheat.
OG Mr. Mont, salute to you.
Salute, Mr. Mont. Yeah, Ali is a cheat in those games. Interesting fact that y'all might not know. In Fight Night Fight Night Champion, my favorite boxing game of all time. You know what I was gonna do on Bad Cave, Stormy? I was actually gonna play the game through. I was actually gonna play the game all the way through from start to finish because you know they have ESPN is in the game.
Yeah.
The whole game. So I was gonna actually play it through because I'm that good on that game. I'm really that good. But on that game, once you beat the game, they have a board. They have something called bare knuckle, where there's no gloves and it's easier to cut your opponent and it's easier for you to get cut too, right? The board where you fight called the pin is actually in prison, where the main character has spent some time in prison. Did you know when you pick that board, the only two characters you can't pick to play is Ali and Mike Tyson? Ain't that something?
Yeah, because of their past. Yeah.
Right. You can't pick them. I was like, man, I'm gonna pick Mike
Tyson. It's true that the dude on that game, because they do when they show him, like when you playing through the stages, he got hair.
Yeah.
Then he gets like a haircut, and it's like his hair is like he's nearly bald. When he's like really bald, don't he look like Willie D?
Yeah, he does.
And I would listen. You know, Willie D been doing a YouTube channel and everything for a few years, right? He's been on there a long time. But going back to when I first started watching him, somebody had said that to him on one of his lives. And they were like, hey, Willie D, man, when you give them guys the rights to use your likeness on the...
That's funny as hell.
Yeah, and I happened to be watching that show when they said that to him. And he was like, what? I don't know nothing about that. And he said, I'm going to have to check into that, right? But the dude do look like Willie D, bro.
Dude, you know what's crazy, though? You know who that actor was that played him? Okay, the DC Crisis on Infinite Earth with the on the Flash. The Flash counts the Flash series.
Yeah.
The black dude that was the alien that was responsible for all of that. The actor, that's him.
Well, again, he sure looked like Willie D though.
Yeah, that's him. He was when I saw him, I said, oh shoot, that's Andre Bishop from Fight Night Champion. Yeah, but he does look like Willie D in that game. Yeah, funny as hell, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, where was we at? We on yeah, we definitely got to do we definitely got to do the boxing games, man. We definitely got to do that because I think I may have played all of them. Did you know Barry McGuigan had a boxing game?
I did not.
Yep, it was on the Intellivision. I played it. It was the only boxing game for it. Played it. So the NES had a lot of classics on there. The NES had a lot of classics, man. That Metroid, Contra, Ring King, a lot of classics on that. A lot of classics.
I like the football on there too.
Oh man, Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo Bowl, yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ! You could not stop Walter Payton. It was impossible. It was impossible. He was run over you. You could not. It was a cheat, bro. You couldn't stop Walter Payton. This was also the console we introduced us to John Madden.
Yep.
John Madden. The John Madden. The way they did it was state of the art, man. Great stuff. Oh yeah, Universal Truth. You couldn't stop Walter Payton. You couldn't stop Bo Jackson on Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, man.
Ridiculous, bro. Those dudes will run you over. By the time the game over, they'd have like 1,000 yards on your ass. Crazy stuff. So, yeah, let's go over to the next console, because this next console right there on the right, the Sega Genesis. Now, this console kicked everyone's ass when it came out. I remember the year that it came out and it was dropping. My birthday was literally 2 months later. So my mom's, we went to the Wiz. You remember the Wiz?
Yeah.
Went to the Wiz and bought me it, and she paid $240 for this. And this came with Altered Beast that was in the arcade. And this was 16-bit graphics, which was arcade quality at that time. 16-bit graphics. It came with the arcade banger in Altered Beast, 2 remotes, and if you look on the left, this was the first game where you had headsets. You could buy your Walkman headsets and put it in there, which was crazy. This was state of the art. And this game console, Altered Beast, everyone had it. When you bought it, you had Altered Beast with it, right? Man, this had a lot of bangers on it. The Genesis had a lot of bangers on it, a lot of them. A lot of bangers on this.
Yeah, I remember like in the stores that Genesis had the most games. It's like you could go like down a whole aisle full of Genesis stuff. They were really, you know, at that time, their heyday. What an amazing
it was an amazing time, man. Yeah, man. These guys was doing it big. These guys were doing it big. Now I did skip something, and I'm gonna go back to it in a second. But the Genesis was it was phenomenal, man. The sound, the graphics. This was as close to art, because it was still arcades, but this was as close to arcade quality that you can get right here. This was as close to arcade quality. We had a lot of there's so many. There's like 20 games that I've had that if I didn't own them, because the games was a lot back then. $40 was a lot of money back then, man. Look at that.
Yeah.
Last Battle, Mystic Defender, Last Battle. Guess what? Shogun. Last Battle was really Fist of the North Star. Last Battle was really Fist of the North Star in the Japanese.
Oh man, you remember Streets of Rage?
Oh heck, what? Oh my God. Streets of Rage was so colorful, and oh man.
Music.
We gotta do a show about the beat 'em ups, the side-scrolling beat 'em ups. There was a lot of them. But shout out to Double Dragon, because they started that. And Streets of Rage was damn good. Mystic Defender, I had that. Last Battle, aka Fist of the North Star. Golden Axe. Let me tell you, Golden Axe in the arcade was great. But when it came to the home system, it was better. You know why? They added more boards. It was arcade accurate. Well, you know, the arcade, there was still things that was a little better, but it wasn't that bad. But they added boards. It was longer. It was longer, man. That was great, man. That was great, man. Streets of Rage, Golden Axe. I didn't really like Echo the Dolphin. Really didn't like that, but you know, whatever. But my gosh, man. My gosh. Now, y'all remember the Mortal Kombat home system war. Super Nintendo, which we're gonna go to next. But wait, we're gonna go back to that. Super Nintendo had the better graphics and sound for Mortal Kombat, but the Genesis version had the violence. You had to do a code, and you can actually get the blood and the violence. But yeah, the Genesis was a great system. Now, Stormy, I want you to go to where it says Sega Master System. That's 2 slides over, it should be. This was before, I skipped this. This was before the Genesis. This was the rival to the Nintendo, the regular NES. Right. And this was a better system. This was a better system. Graphics were a little stronger. Sound was a little better. There was a hidden game when you didn't have a game inside the console. If you press the 1 and 2 buttons and press down to the side, there was a maze game with a snail or something. You know what I'm saying? So Double Dragon for the NES was trash. I didn't like it, but I bought it. Double Dragon that came out for the Sega Master System was more arcade accurate. Loved it, man. Loved it. But another thing was, I think this was the first game console that had a memory card.
Yeah, I remember those memory cards. I used to use the hell out of those things. And you know, what was the flaw in it? The freaking cords, man.
Oh,
they would get that little thing in it where it's like, oh, you got to hold it a certain kind of way, and then eventually you just got to get a new one or replace it.
Yeah, bro, man.
That was one of the things that I hated about
Let me tell you something, man. The most fragile joystick ever was the Genesis joysticks. I must have broken like 8 of them. And it was annoying. When you held it, I mean, man, this thing seems kind of flimsy. Man, everybody that I know broke theirs. If you bought the system, you went and you had it for more than 2 years, you went through like 5 joysticks, bro. As soon as you dropped it,
crazy.
Yeah. As soon as you dropped it, and you hear that click, 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 and you just shake it, you hear shit rattling around in it. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, you know, it's time to replace it.
The B button don't work, or you gotta press it extra hard. It was annoying, man. But by the time, you know, I wasn't buying no more joysticks. It was horrible. Go to the last slide. We're gonna skip the one in the middle for a second. We're gonna go to the last slide real quick. TurboGrafx 16. I ain't forget y'all. I saw y'all. TurboGrafx 16. That was another 16-bit console. Now this was a wild. I didn't have this, but this was a wild system. They had a kung fu game on here. I forgot the name of it. If y'all in the chat remember it, but every kung fu game had a Bruce Lee character in it, and it was wild, man. It was wild. At that time, I had like a Genesis, and I had like 3 consoles. I said, I ain't putting this in the crib, but of course, one of my boys had it, and he had that kung fu game. It was pretty fun too. It was pretty fun, and I really wasn't like into the TurboGrafx, but I'll give them some props. I don't really know too much about the system. I don't really know too much about the hit titles. I do think it came with that kung fu game though. Action Kung Fu, that was it. Action Kung Fu, it was wild, man. You know, the dude, Bruce Lee looking dude, had like a snake style. It was, I was like, what the hell is this? But it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Now go to not the black system on the left, but the Super Nintendo. That's the one right there. Yeah, that. Now this console came through and it kicked some ass. Now, Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2 for this system, because by then Nintendo decided to grow up and say, okay, we could put the violence in these video games. Young DZ said it was China Warrior. Okay, that had to have been it. China Warrior. We'll Google it. The Super Nintendo or the Super Famicom. Mortal Kombat 2 was my joint. You was not beating me with jacks on this game. I'm popping your head off or ripping your arms off. I was the man in this. And when Mortal Kombat 3 came out. All right? Now, the other game on this system that I played, me and my boys played every day. Who remembers when NBA Live 95 came out? My God. My God. Now let me take it a step back. On the Sega Genesis, there was a game called Lakers versus Celtics in the NBA playoffs. That was groundbreaking. Magic, Coop, Kareem, and they had signature moves. You had Michael Jordan on that game. They had his signature reverse. Great game. By the time you got to this system, they revamped it and made it NBA Live 95. It was high-paced, and by then, Jordan was so popular, he wasn't in the game. He wasn't in Live 95. But in 96, I think Live 96 or 97, I forget. May have been 96. You had, there was a lot of players that weren't in the game due to contractual reasons. But they started something called Create a Character. And when you put their names in it, the game would make a click noise and they would pop up. So there was no Charles Barkley. That's it. There you go. That's the game. That's the game.
I found the image, man.
Yep. That's Bruce Lee versus Jackie Chan.
Yeah, right.
That's the game right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we had fun playing these damn games, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember this. Ooh-wee. He had like 2 other games. We played this to death. You know, we played this to death. We played this. This was, China Warrior. I forgot how many playable characters, but NBA Live 96 was crazy because, by then we created Jordan. We had to create Barkley. I think you had to create Larry Bird. And we played that to death. We played that to death. But Super Nintendo had some bangers, man. Super NES had some bangers. NBA Live was a banger.
Hey, what are your thoughts on them guys who, when they would put them on the cover of them damn games and they would get hurt?
What do you mean?
The players that would make it on the cover of the game.
Oh, man.
It was like a curse or something. It's
bro. You want to know what a curse is? Fight Night Champion had Andre Bishop on the cover. Fight Night Champion in the UK had David Hay on the cover. And it wasn't too much longer after that, he lost to Vladimir Klitschko and told him his toe was broken. So curse indeed. Dead serious. You're right. Yep. The cover for Fight Night Champion in the UK had David Hay on the cover. Y'all can look that up. That really happened. Yep. That was wild. I think Shane Mosley was on the cover of Fight Night. No, it was Knockout Kings 2000, which was a great game for the PlayStation. Matter of fact, let's go to the PlayStation right there in the first one. Classic right here. Classic right here. The PS1.
Yeah, I had that one too, bro.
PS1 is a classic.
I had that.
They also had games that weren't sold in America. But, I spent a lot of time in Chinatown, and you go inside these stores and be like, yo, what game is that? You can't understand anything on the box. And they tell you, oh, no, this is what it is. And he'd pop it in, and we watching it like, yo, we can't understand a thing. This game looked fun. And he would give us the instructions in English. He'd give us the instruction in English, and we bought some of these games, man. And one of the games that I liked for this, you had to buy an extension. There was a spring that you had to put where the case was. And you had something called a boot disc. And once the boot disc would stop spinning, you take it, you charge it up with the regular game, you take it out, put it in the boot disc, and then put the Japanese game in it. And they had a wrestling game called Token Retsuden. And they had all the Japanese wrestlers from across the seas. I used to be really into that. I used to be really, really, really into that. As a matter of fact, we're gonna get Storm. We definitely gotta do a part 2 to this.
Yeah,
Definitely. Token Retsuden was I'm gonna tell you an interesting story. I was playing it in my living room, right? And my pops was just over visiting, and he saw Antonio Inoki. And he's looking at the screen. He said, "Ain't that the guy that was kicking Ali in his shins in 1970, whatever?" I said, "Yes, as a matter of fact, it is." Antonio Inoki is he passed, but he's an absolute rock star. And he's responsible for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he was the boss of this game, man, and that was a damn good game. Yeah, Universal Truth. I know about Tenchu. Oh, yeah. Great game. Yo, PS1 has a bunch of... Y'all played 1? O-N-E. 1. That game was ridiculous good. Stormy, some of these games you could watch on YouTube. It's like watching a damn movie.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy stuff. As a matter of fact, what was the name of the Bruce Willis video game? Not the one based off the movie. Bruce Willis had a video game. What was the name of that thing?
I don't remember.
Well, my boy, he had it, and it was great, man. It was great. It was, oh man, it was great. Can't think of the name of it. I'll think of it in a second. But Bruce Willis was in that damn game.
Oh, Apocalypse.
Was it yeah, I think, was it Apocalypse?
Apocalypse. I just Googled it. Oh,
okay, so that had to have been it. That had to have been it. That had to have been it. This system had so many bangers, and I played Tekken to death. I played Tekken to death. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, when I was in deep with this, when Tekken 2 came out, you was not seeing me with King. I killed everybody. King was a wrestler. And once I got hold of you, I'm slamming your whole life bar out. Because he had the chain slams. He'll do a suplex into a backdrop, into a leg swing. Once I grabbed you, it was over with. It was over with. I knew every reverse, everything. But this game right here had some bangers. And I played a lot of Japanese game too. Yeah, man, this was great. Loved the PS1. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Now, if you go, that's it. This game was flavor. And by the way, Activision, they made video games, but I forgot. They also was a game console back in the day. I forgot to upload that. ATL, salute. I see you, brother.
Yeah, they did have a, you're right.
Yep.
Activision had a console. And Activision.
Yup. Some of these guys stopped making consoles and they just made video games. Yup. Nah, Shamar said I ain't want no smoking Tekken. Hey, not now, but Tekken 2, when I was playing this every day, nobody was seeing me. I beat up everybody. Tekken 2, King? Oh, no. I knew everybody slam. I literally would grab somebody and slam their life out. They'd be dead.
I played the one with the Bruce Lee-like character with the yellow tracksuit.
Yeah, that's martial law.
And he used to do the little flip kick like in Into the
Dragon. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man. That was awesome.
Now, Sega, they made a little bit of a comeback, and I'm kind of out of order with it. If you go to this last console right here, this was the Sega CD, and you hooked it up to the Sega Genesis. What was unique about this was the voices. This was the first gaming console, and this came out before the PS1. you actually had the actors' voices, and that was unique. That was unique. But this system didn't really last too long. You know what I mean? It's the sound was amazing. The sound was amazing, and it did up the level of graphics. It made the 16-bit system jump to 32. So yeah. Will's asking, are there any arcades in NYC? Not anymore. The last ones used to be on 42nd Street. There used to be 2 of them, and then when they made Times Square more family friendly, they were in this building, and I don't think it's around anymore. But I don't think they have any arcades that I know about, not anymore. But the Sega CD was okay. It was okay. My boy had it. But I wasn't really like a fan of it. Like there was some things that I was like, you know what, I could skip this. And this was one of them. But the audio was great. Now the last system we're gonna talk about here is this. This is the Sega Dreamcast. This has to be, and I'm gonna explain to y'all, for its time, and I want to say the 90s into the early 2000s, this was the greatest system ever created. And I'm gonna tell you why. Stormy, when this system came out, technology came out that made it it made it a reality that you could burn your own CDs. That was new technology. My boy went to Staples and took $250 and bought a CD burner. The Dreamcast video games, you were able to copy them. So what he did was he took the CD and he had a program. And what he did was he would rip the data and dub it onto the computer. And he had another program where he could take the data and burn it onto a CD. We're not talking about DVDs. We're talking about CDs. CDs. And yeah, Akando, this didn't sell. You know why? Because it did too much for too little. I bet y'all don't remember, this was the first game console that you was able to go online with. Y'all don't remember that? There was a what you call it port. Behind it, there was a what you call it? An Ethernet port on that. And you couldn't play people online, but you was able to get online and do certain things and download certain things. I forgot, but it had an Ethernet port in the back. We never used it. We never used it, but we was able to. Y'all remember when you used to go to the what is it? What is it? Blockbuster. We had an arcade video around here, and they started. You was able to rent video games from there. We was going in there and renting all the Dreamcast video games, taking them back to my crib, dubbing the video games, burning them on the CDs, and playing them on our Dreamcast. We had about 150 titles, from American titles, and we'd go to Chinatown and get the Japanese titles. We got the biggest bang for our buck out of this system right here. And the reason why it didn't sell well is because it did too much. We knew what it did because we found out by accident. We was like, yo, we got a CD burner. Maybe we could, you know, we could take this, and it worked. And this was CDs, not DVDs. It was CDs. And there was a technology that skipped America. Do y'all remember something called VCD? It was like a DVD, but with lower quality, right? And it didn't have enough space, and you use it on an 80-minute CD. So you would have, like in Chinatown, because Chinatown had everything, I remember watching. We had this dude sold. He had a Mazinga, and he sold it in a case, and there was 2 CDs in the case. So you had 5 episodes on one and 5 on the other, and it was a VCD. And the VCD, now we was already selling DVDs out here, but the VCD also worked in a DVD player. It just held less information. Now, this council introduced the 2K series. A lot of y'all might not know that. Do y'all remember NBA 2K? Is that still a thing? Is NBA 2K still around? It started here. And it was like the greatest thing I've ever seen. I said, oh shit, look at these graphics. It was crazy. Do y'all remember NFL 2K? It happened right here on this system. NFL 2K was right here on this system, boy. And it was, thank you, Allen Iverson was on the cover. NFL 2K was dope. And Madden was nervous because they had competition finally, but I forgot how many NFL 2K games they made, but, you know, Madden won it. They won the war. But this system did the most, and that's why it's not around, because you got the biggest bang for your buck with this system. We were doing all kinds of shit with this. We had over 150 games, and we were just renting games. And when we wanted a Japanese game, one person bought it, and we just dubbed it for all our friends. Man, this thing, and they only made 1 Dreamcast. This game council did the most, but it did too much because they shot themselves in their own foot. It did too much. So yeah, man, we're gonna stop right here. There's more systems, because the rival to this, because this was Sega, by the way. The rival to this was what? PlayStation 2. We'll talk about that some other time, because there's more game consoles. But this right here, this was probably my favorite system of all time because of what it did.
Yeah, I was always enamored with the graphics on this thing. I didn't own one, but every time I went to Best Buy or something, people would be standing up there playing that bad boy, bro. I tell you.
Oh, Stormy, pull up Young DZ's, Shogun's comment. Marvel versus Capcom. Bro, let me tell you what this was, bro. Stormy. Yeah. Okay, a snowy day. By the time this system came out, I had a full-time job. On our days off, we just got a bunch of sandwiches, a bunch of chips, and a bunch of stuff you're not supposed to be eating. And you see this title right here, Marvel vs. Capcom? When I tell you we played this game literally all day, me and my boys, yo, the roster was stupid. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Let me ask Shogun, who was your 3? Because it was 3 people. Who was your 3 people on this game? I'm gonna tell you who my team was. I had 2 teams. My first team was Cable, Cyclops, and why am I having a brain fart? It's Cable, Cyclops. Y'all sleeping on Cyclops, but he was dangerous on that game. It's Cable, Cyclops, and God damn it. Akuma. Cable, Cyclops, and Akuma. My second team was Guile, Nash, aka Charlie, and Captain America. Y'all know why. That's the All-American team. 2 soldiers and Captain America, the super soldier. Strider was a problem on that game. But I'm sure you've seen that game before, right, Stormy?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. It was very popular. A lot of people, like I say, I go through. This is the funny thing in talking about these. That's why I told you I let you lead, because you know more, you know, intricate details about these gaming systems and whatnot. But I would see them in the stores because Best Buy and Circuit City were my joints. That's where I used to hang out. And every Tuesday, which was release day for music, movies, video games, and I was always in the store. So I would see the new stuff, you know what I mean? Even if it wasn't something that I was buying, I stopped and watched people play and everything. I just was enamored with the graphics and stuff. So I'm very much aware of some of the stuff was out. I don't know all the titles and everything, but when the changes came about with new systems, and it's like, you know, because they were always demoing it for people.
Right.
Now, the one thing that was demoed, and this has nothing to do with tonight's show, but I'm mentioning it because of talking about what they would do in the store. Remember when they started bringing the virtual games out?
Yes.
And the people started putting the virtual games on and whatever they would have. I've never used it. Never. I don't know what a virtual game looks like or simulated. You know, I never did it because I was like, that right there to me is like, okay, the concept of it makes me think that I don't want that I don't want the experience. So I've never tried it. That's not to knock anyone who has or anything like that, but it's just something about doing that where that virtual thing is like, I think that's a step too far for me. I'm not interested in it, but I've heard some stuff about it, but you know, that's not for me. But I've witnessed so much of this stuff. Yeah, Adrian says Soul Calibur. Yeah, I remember that one too.
Oh man, that's the sequel to Soul Blade.
Yeah,
Soul Blade came out for the PS1. Great game. The intro to that was great. Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast was ridiculously good. It was ridiculously good. Love that game, man. Love that game. Love that game, man. Young Dreezy says, Strider Harumaru. Loved it in the arcade. Loved it on the Nintendo. Loved it on the Sega Genesis. That was one of my joints. Strider. He's an instrumental character. They redid his video game. They updated it a couple of years ago, and he's an absolute animal on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Animal. Hell yeah.
Hey Drew, I want to mention something to you before we close this show out. 100 views for tonight's show.
Ooh.
There's a lot of people like gaming systems, man, and gaming. So it just lets you, I told you that. I thought, you know, letting you take the lead on this one. Hey, man.
You know, with a lot of these latest systems, I bet we can do an all-time top 10 games for these systems because they got some bangers.
Yeah.
They got some bangers. We got to sit down and like do that. But I really want to do the boxing video games because I think I've played them all. We can get some still shots, but I really, you know, you guys need to go follow us when we do this show on Rumble, because then we can actually show videos of this stuff. You know.
Yeah, it says we have 32 people in here right now, eyes on the show. If you're subscribed to either Drew or myself, please click the link that I pinned in the chat for the Rumble channel and just give me a follow over there, because the sooner I reach 100 followers at Rumble, we'll be able to go live for this show specifically over there, and we can play the commercials, we can play the interactive things that we are restricted to play on YouTube. So this is not just trying to get somebody, oh, follow me. No, this is for you guys, because our hands are tied. You have no idea if let's just say we were able to just pop this show off live over there. It would have been more enthralling than what you saw this evening, because we've been able to play the trailers that Drew wanted to play and clips of the games and all types of additional fare that we just can't do because of YouTube restrictions. So please give us a follow over there. Both he and I are on Rumble. So just do that for us to show that support and love, because we want to get the numbers up over there where we can show the content as intended.
Yeah, do that, man. We can have like more fun, more nostalgia, man. YouTube really limits us. It's the mix between, it's not even the people that create the things that we talk about. It's YouTube with this copyright stuff, man. It's just them. You know what I mean? And we're not making millions of dollars off of this stuff, man. We just do it because we like to talk about it. We could take the damn monetization off of the damn thing and they'll still give us a problem. I mean, it's just what they do. It's annoying, but you know what?
Yeah, and take us off the air and everything.
Right.
They've done it. They've done it for no reason. And then when you try to figure out why they did it, they try to act like they don't know what you're talking about.
That's right. So if you want a better experience, please follow us on Rumble. You know what I'm saying? The faster we can go live over there, who knows? We can just open up the chat because, we're not perfect. I'm sure there's things that we forgot about. You know what I mean? So we love to open up the chat. Y'all nerds like us, man. And we do shows like this because in my mind, I'm talking about Atari. I'm thinking about a easier time in my life. You know what I mean?
And look at how many of you out there are into this like we are, and a lot of you are more into it than I am. But at the same time, we share this experience. This is something that connects us all. And just think about it. We just spent an hour and a half talking about something that all of us love and everything, and been a part of an enriched part of our lives.
That's right.
I mean, and it's a positive thing, guys. A very positive thing that we can come on as grown men, adults, and ladies, and show and express what our hobbies and interests are. It doesn't hurt anyone, and there was a time when we didn't have the internet to connect us all like this. This is something very positive. No matter how some people misuse and abuse the opportunity to be social on media, we're doing it the right way here with something like this show.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
So final thoughts, Drew, on tonight's show. We will come back with a part 2 for this, because you gamers out there, we haven't forgotten you. That's one thing I wanted to stress, because I know that for what we cover with Nerds on Culture, gaming is a huge part of it. We already did a show on arcades. So this is just more of us being able to get into things more detailed. So go ahead, Drew. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is why I love Mondays, man. This is why I get to, sit back, kick my feet up, and talk about things that's relaxing. Because you already know what kind of fucking week I've been having. It's been really stressful.
Yeah.
So, I need to do this. I really do.
And it was great. You did a great job, man. Great job. And I like how what you brought in with the various systems and everything. That was wonderful.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I just want, I'm gonna share this intro with you, but that's for when you end. Because we can't air this, man. But salute, man. Can't wait to see what we do next week, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So with that, you guys, I want to say thank you all for checking us out tonight. And please,
salute to Eric Jordan. Salute to Eric Jordan in that Cash App. Salute to Eric Jordan in that Cash App.
Yeah, thanks. Let me take a quick gander at that. The Cash App from Eric Jordan, brother who's always supporting us.
Always supporting, man.
Straight across the board for the community. He even came out to our meet and greet and everything.
Sure.
Eric Jordan out there, the Cash App, he says, phenomenal topic for nerds on culture. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's again. But yeah, if you guys didn't hit the like button on the way in, please hit it on the way out. Share it, because some of you have social platforms that will highlight and profile this kind of content. So please share that. Draw other eyes to what's happening over here with Nerds on Culture, man, because it's for all of us. This is what we can do. I've got a video coming out on Wednesday. It's a premiere for my Temple of Culture and Entertainment channel, talking about the Avengers. Judgment Day. Marvel is looking to go forward after the Doomsday film and Secret Wars film. After that, they're looking to go into the Axe story. Now, if you guys don't know what the Axe story is, that's Avengers times X-Men times Eternal, equaling Judgment Day, when the Eternals, the Celestials, return to judge the earth, and the Avengers and X-Men have to battle against the Eternals. So can you imagine that as a cinematic piece? Oh my goodness. So they're in talks to get that going. As right now, the Russos are heading that stuff up with Marvel Studios. And I got a little video premiere coming out Wednesday. Gonna talk about that a little bit. So be watching out for it. See, we always got some good stuff for you guys, man. Great stuff.
Hell yeah.
So as we check out, we're gonna get on up out of here. Thanking everybody once again. And I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. We will catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody.
Salute.